Welcome to Ramblings of a Madman series where I talk crap for a couple of minutes about current things happening mostly in gaming industry. I talk directly with no filter and loads of bollocks that you should not take as gospel by any means. It is just my perception. There are more videos like this in this playlist, so you can check them out if you want. So I'm sick of family-friendly content. It's creeping up in every media these days with false excuse of protecting children when it cares only about catering to politically driven advertisers. Stop being naive, parents, before you ruin fun for everyone else. It never was, is or will be about your kids. It's all about corporations getting richer. Sony implemented new policy in 2018 that is censoring naked human body in games. Why? Kids, of course. Seeing some ass or tits will traumatize them for life. Not mass shootings, crazy feminists, brain-dead Christians, lying corrupt politicians, fat lards parading their laziness, ISIS decapitating people, USA waging wars everywhere they can with their dads being at the front lines because some arsehole in high chair decided they need another country's natural resource, and other mass spread reports through social media which kids are a part of anyway. Why do I say USA specifically? Because Sony USA are the ones pushing this. Guess where their new headquarters is? California. Coincidence? Sure. I'll link Mark Kern interview in description who had the balls to call him out on it. I have always given Sony some leeway because they let their talented devs work on their games until properly finished, and without interfering or adding tons of DLC and microtransactions. They were fucking up in all fronts besides their games, however, but this one takes the cake. DMC5 is latest title so far affected by this policy. It doesn't change many things, it just censors couple of scenes where some nice ass is being shown. That is not the point, however. It is growing in size and we have seen censorship affecting everything lately. People can't talk openly anymore in media, songs are being censored where even words like shit cannot be spoken anymore. Nudity is becoming highly controversial for some reason, and so on. It is becoming ridiculous to the point of mental retardation, which is what all of this family-friendly content is going to make kids become. Unprepared for real world. Just look at the current high school and college generation in Western society. Cowards that cannot function outside groups who share same retardation, not being able to think or take responsibility themselves. It is not strange that they became that way. Censorship is definitely one of the reasons why they run at people who make jokes or say words that have been labeled as taboo their whole lives. We all know how little kids act when they hear a bad word or see something they shouldn't see for the first time. Usually they have their eyes wide open with hand over their mouth, standing in disbelief. That is all good when you are 4, but when you act like that when you are 22, then there is something truly wrong with you. This is what outrage culture is. Bunch of kids raised on censorship amongst other things trying to act mature by yelling at everyone who says something they deem inappropriate. When you have them yelling, it means nothing. Problem is when corporations take notice and start implementing the same way of thinking, affecting their products, like Sony USA. Currently there is ESRB rating for almost every form of media. It clearly indicates who the content is meant for. That's it. Why censor anything further if not for money-hungry bastards that want all the advertisers in the world? My peers and I have all seen nudity at a young age, heard a lot of cussing and played violent games for our whole lives, and none of us have raped, murdered, robbed the bank, joined extreme religious groups and so on. Best lads I could ever hope for. They are all responsible adults with open mind to tackle any problem cause we see through bollocks easily. Not saying that it is only because no real censorship was present in our lives when we were kids, but it definitely helps playing games like Fallout 1 and 2 at the age of 8, seeing thousands of bodies mutilated, reading swear words in every sentence and learning that every action has consequence. Things like these make you prepared a bit for life, because when someone starts cussing like a maniac you will phase it out because you have experienced it already. Same goes for everything really, nudity as well. Imagine kid not seeing any nudity properly until age of 16 or something like that. Then starts dating and get to the point where partner removes clothes. What then? You want your kid to handle the situation like a goddamn pro and have a good time, or have a heart attack for seeing naked body for the first time? Let me give you an example from my life about how kids learn to phase out things like cussing easily. I have a 5-year-old niece that I absolutely adore, but I don't have filter when talking to other adults in her presence. First time she heard me cussing like mad, she did exactly as I've described earlier. Eyes wide, hand over mouth, and after 2 seconds she started smiling. Every time after that, when family got together and she heard me cussing, she had absolutely no reaction. Phased it out. That is actually beneficial because she can keep composure in any argument in future if someone starts cussing at her or someone else. She won't be fazed by it. I'm not saying that you should actively go out and start cussing at your own kids, cause please don't do that. I'm just saying that kids are tougher than they look. Experience plays biggest factor in their lives. Having experienced things to at least some degree helps. I'm not saying they should experience everything, no, of course not. Some of the things are just too disturbing and kids should never be a part of it. But things like cussing, nudity and violence in video games is not a problem. The way I see it, raising kids from young age into having certain political views or into religion is far more dangerous than nudity, cussing, violent games and other nonsensical things blamed for decay of humanity, because kids can understand these things more easily than politics and religion, which even most adults can't comprehend. My point is that parents raise their kids, not corporations or governments. Thank fuck for that for the most part. So parents don't give in into this bullshit, cause soon that censorship that some of you want will lead to people not being able to speak openly. It starts with small things like this, and before you know it you can't protest against government or corporations anymore because your free speech has been censored. Nothing good comes out of censorship. Parents are there to prevent kids from being traumatized by watching highly disturbing content. It's not corporation or government's assignment to tell you what is disturbing or not, and to change content for everyone else because of kids, which, as I have established already, is just a bogus excuse for more money.